Now that we're in the customization window, what we're going to do right now is to look at the home page. That's the first page we'll be customizing. Before we do that for this specific theme, I wanted to show you guys here. You see these three dots at the close to the top left of your screen? As we customize, we typically want to see what that looks like live. So this is something I will show you right now. And if you click on this, you have the options, edit code, a couple of options. What we care about is view. So every time you make a change to your theme in this section and you save it, you could always come here, click on view, and it opens a new tab just so you see what that looks like. We'll be doing this a couple of times as we go through customizing our website. Okay, back to the home page. The first thing you want to do here is like come to the drop down up here, and you see a couple of different pages. Just in case your home page is not pre-selected, select your home page, and then we have the home page here. So what we want to do is, if you already have a pre-planned idea of what your home page is to look like, you could start setting that up. I'll do exactly what I'm hoping this homepage would look like according to the strength of this theme. So the first thing we see here is the header, and the header section defines this part of the website. We go through the options. Middle left is fine. We haven't created a menu yet, so I'll get back to that. We need to create a menu for the header. So that's where you see the different options from maybe, since we're speaking about jewelry, necklaces to bracelets, and those options that you see on many websites. The desktop menu type, let's leave it as drop down for now. Sticky header on scroll up is good. That means basically as you scroll up through this theme, the header stays sticky, so you get access to the header whatever part of the page you're on. Color scheme, we don't need to change most of these. Country, region selected, this is fine. This is fine. Mobile layout, center, the logo should be centered, and you can see when I switch this, the logo is centered. Let's go back to desktop. Spacing, all these are fine. Theme settings, we'll come back to that eventually. So let's go back and let's see. Let's go to the next one. So you have the options here to add a block or add a section. Let's see what adding a block looks like. So I do add a block. We have just sign in with shop button and 0 blocks. Let's ignore that. Let's see if we can add a section. The first section I really want to add here is like an announcement bar. I think this would be useful. Let's add an announcement bar because most of the websites do have announcement bars all the way at the top. So with the announcement bars, you could typically offer discounts. So if I click on this announcement bar real quick, and let's see what the settings look like. Scheme 4 is fine. Social media icons, do we want to display this? We could do that. You toggle this and it shows icons on desktop. We'll still come back to setting up the social media accounts because you need to set those first before this can show up. Announcements, let's leave as is. I think this is fine right now. Language selector, we don't need to change all that stuff. So let's go back. And then we click into the actual announcements. You see, like this is what we added. So we say, let's just click into the. Let me go back so this makes sense. Header, drop down, announcement bar is the setting we just looked at, and then under it you can have multiple, announcements. So let's say I wanted to say the first one was welcome to our store, and I wanted to add another announcement that said, let's say discounts up to 50%. No, up to 50%. Let's make it launch discounts. discounts up to 50%. I would rather have that as the only one. I don't want multiple ones. So I'll come over here, and when you click on this hides the previous one. Oh, might as well delete it. I don't need it, so I'll delete that. So now we just have launch discounts up to 50%. If I come over here at the top right and I save, that's saved. So we can always look at what that looks like on the phone. That's fine. Desktop, Lumilux. But typically you have this section above the logo, right? It feels kind of weird having this after the logo at the top left. So what we're going to do here is I will just hold on to this section. See, my cursor is above the announcement bar. Just hold on to it, just drag it all the way to the top. It's that simple. So now we have it at the top, right? So if I were to come over here and view, well, that's not saved yet. See, so this doesn't show it's updated yet. So I have to go back. After I moved the section to the top, we always have to save. Do not forget to save, or it does not show up. So now that that's saved, I could do the same thing again. Click here and view. And yes, we have it at the top. Okay, so that's the announcement bar. What else can we do on this home page? Let's look at adding another section. We don't need to add another section here. That's fine. Come down to the template section and see. We have something called the feature collection now, but I want to add like maybe a slide at the top of the page, just before we get to the products of the featured collection. So what I'll do here is come over here and it says add section just under the templates section of things. Click on add section and you have a bunch of options you could add, and when you hover them, you see what they actually look like in real time. But what I really care about is adding a banner or a slideshow. In this case, I'll probably go with a banner. Sorry, let me go with a slideshow because I want to add multiple images. So let's do a slideshow. Now see, I just clicked on that and I have a slideshow parent, and then we have two slides that we can add. So we click on this first one just so we set up what the slides should look like, right? So click on the slideshow and you have layout, full width, we like it like that, slide height, medium, perfect, counter for that. Sometimes I go with dots because it just makes it easier to click through. Auto rotate slides, let's make it auto rotate, and for the slides to rotate, 5 seconds is reasonable. So yeah, it switches just that way. Mobile layout, show contents below images on mobile. Let's see what this looks like. When you adjust that, you see how the image is up here and the content goes underneath. So that's what that means. Accessibility is fine. We could say slideshow about Lumilux. Okay, perfect. Now that we have the slideshow settings buttoned, we come here and click on save, like I said, and go back. Let's go back to slideshow. So we just clicked through the slideshow settings. Now we want to customize the specific slides. We have 2 slides right now, and you could always add multiple slides, but 2 is a reasonable start. So let's look at the first slide, right? First slide, because we're talking jewelry here, for your brand, you should have, images that you'd love to put in a slide like this, or a banner. So in this case, I'll just use some free images that, go with what I'm trying to sell here. Let's look for something around jewelry. Okay. We can do this. Let's see what that looks like. I like this. This is simple. So let's select this as our first image. And then we could change the heading. It says image slide, tell your brand story through images and button label. So we could come here and say, for the first slide, let's say Lumilux. And we can also, maybe just to be a little bit different, just add the slogan as the, subheading. Come over here where it says tell your brand story through images and put adorn your essence. Button label should probably be shop. Let's make it shop. And we will eventually talk about this because your buttons should link to maybe a collection or products. We haven't set those up now, so we'll come back to that. But in cases where you've set them up, all you need to do is click here and it opens a collection, which you can select. We don't have any collection right now, so I'll just choose all collection. That's the default collection, just so we have something set up there. So this looks fine as is right now. Show container on desktop alignment, image overlay. None of these other things should be really changed. I think I like how it looks right now. This is fine. Desktop position, container. Let's see. Taking out the container. Looks a little bit not super sure about the white essence right now. So let's leave it like this for now. Let's take out that background. So that's for the first slide. Let's go to the second slide. And let's do something. That's this one. So click into the second option that says image slide. And let's explore free images. So I'll search for jewelry again. And I think this is also nice. Let's see what that looks like here. I like this. So let's do this. And we can say, here we say, let's name it a collection name. I call this silver collection. Okay. Silver collection. You could also change the heading size. I failed to mention in the first one, but you always want to keep it consistent between both slides. Silver collection. I'll say this. Sophistication. Let me do natural sophistication. Okay. And then we can make this shop. Okay. So now we have both slides, and we can also take out this container just for consistency. Okay, that's kind of dark. That is dark. The contrast is not working. So let's do something. I'll show container over here just so we have some consistency. And then I go to the other slide and I do the same for Lumilux. Let's all show container here, right? So now we're balanced. Let's look at what that looks like on your mobile. Okay. So we have the header, we have the featured collection, and then we have a slide. This looks fine. The only thing I'll say is we typically want this section, which is the slideshow, to be at the top of the page. So definitely above the featured collection. So let's go back in desktop view, and same thing we mentioned earlier. This is the slideshow section. I just closed it up, but this is it. Just hold on to it and drag it to the top. And you can see to the right that literally shows as it moves. It shows here and it goes back up here. So now we have this, right? So now we have it at the top of the page. And we can save right now. So as soon as that's saved, let's open this up and click view and see what that looks like. So now we have, let's look, it's already coming together. Launch discounts up to 50%. We have a slideshow that switches. This is already coming together. So that's with the home page. You could also add a couple more sections. It's left to how you want your website to look. But I'll keep it simple right now with the slideshow we just added and the featured collection. But there's so many other options if you wanted stuff like this image with rich texts, image banner, slideshow, which we just did, some sort of collage, multi-column, email sign up. I think it's not, let's add email sign up. This is super important. So subscribe to our emails. Let's do that. This is fine as is. We really don't need to do much here. It's super simple. Subscribe to our emails. Be the first to know about collections and emails. That's perfect. I don't need to change much. You can see here also the section comes in. So you can see in the template section that we have the slideshow featured collection. And every time you hover, it navigates to it. That's how intuitive Shopify is. And then you click on email. You look here, email sign up. It's right there. Let's save this and look at our website now. So we're coming together. Subscribe to our email. The very super simple website. Okay. That's it on the home page. Let's go down to the last section, which is this footer section. The footer is also an important section for your website, as it cuts across all pages. We're on the home page right now, but we're looking at the footer. By default, you have certain things. Obviously, because of Shopify payments, you have these payment options here. So let's see how much we can customize in the footer. In the footer, you could also add sections, and typically, right here in this theme, you have the option to have an email sign up, which we already added, so we don't need that, and a shop button, which we don't need. But what's super important with the footer section is the brand information. So when I come here, look at this section. I do a brand information, and I can show my social media icons. For this theme, it says you can edit your brand information here. So what we'll do is, just to see how this works, I will click through on this to see where you can edit your brand information. It comes back to your theme settings right here. So this is something we'll come back to. I do not want to touch on this now. We have a whole lesson on the theme settings. So I'm not going to talk about this now, but at the end of the day, we'll come back to the homepage after we're done with the theme settings, so you see how everything looks. And as we go through the theme settings, we'll definitely show where and how they apply. Okay, so that's it for the homepage. The next thing we'll be looking at is a collection page. So join me in the next lesson as we configure or customize your collection page.